Life is becoming most unbearable for individuals and families. People could barely feed. People could barely fend for themselves. A lot of children on daily basis cry to bed, not because they are ill, but because of no food, only to wake up to a more frustrating situation of not having food at home. Household poverty is at the extreme, and food poverty is widespread. Insecurity is booming high with no hope in sight. The reason being that with the hardship we have facing us and with the level of unemployment among young people, taking to criminal vices and crimes like kidnapping and hostage taking has become a means of survival. If you look at the political spectrum, do you really have our leaders creating jobs? The House of Rep members, are they creating jobs? Do they even see their people? The senators, do they even see their people? Do they create jobs? The governors, what are they doing about the unemployment situation among youth and women? We have proliferation of poverty at the extreme level. Most Nigerian families rating above 75%, they live within the poverty bracket of less than $2 a day. We can't continue this way. There must be something to be done to help ourselves. Since we cannot resort to violence or anti-government actions, the best positive intervention to provide is to seek for a way to engage youth and women so that we can reduce the level of youth crime associated with youth poverty and also the level of household poverty associated with women poverty. And we are taking this global advocacy for the enthronement and enhancement of entrepreneurship among Nigerian youth and women as the only panacea for the hardship people are facing and the cure for insecurity. So that's what
our focus, mission, and dream geared towards the alleviation of poverty. It's a war, a crusade against unhealthy, imposed hunger upon our people. Because God has blessed Nigerians with the best weather in the whole universe for economic growth, that if well harnessed, there will be no need for this kind of macro hunger that we are now experiencing. Many people are now dying silently out of hunger, out of hopelessness, as a result of joblessness. Few days ago, it was a hammer upon Heritage Bank. Millions of Nigerians are directly and indirectly affected, and many are directly out of job, and the dependents of those who are out of job are now back to square one in this satanic and geopathic situation we find ourselves in. Instead of bringing remedies, panacea, and elixir that will alleviate the horrible situation we find ourselves, the thing is becoming like a benign cancer that become malignant, and now it is metastasizing. And if care is not taken and actions are not taken immediately, in the next few years, everybody in this country will be running. Even those who are pretending to be safe, like the political dimension. In fact, the crisis will hit all aspects, north, south, east, west. Nobody will be safe. The religious people will be suffering. Basket offerings will cry, will be empty. The tithers will not have anything to tithe. Many religious people will go out of religious business. So the multi-life savers for the less privileged has decided to continue her mission and vision, which we have been upon since years. It's now all about 28 to 29 years project, 100% poverty alleviation project. And our key emphasis is on the youths and the women. Because if we know that if we capture the youths, this malodorous insecurity that is now messing up the country, that tantamounts to even mass exodus out of the country and is killing our economy, because even farmers cannot farm comfortably. But now, unfortunately, the situation is coming to a point whereby if we have the youths on our side, insecurity will go. And people can go to the forest to farm. But how do you fund them? When insecurity is on hike, because the young men have no jobs, the solution now, the panacea is give them jobs. And if you give them farms, give them healthy environments to farm, whatever the crop, we have the off-takers. We can't even feed the Nigerian consumers, talk more exporting. But if it tantamounts to exportation, these youths will benefit. Instead of running away to foreign countries with hopelessness to do nothing, because our ingenious brains, our best brains, the best of what this generation has provided, are now migrating out. It is becoming like self-slavery, and it is a calamity to this nation. So this organization, partnering with the Yes Fund, is now keyed into bringing our youths, their values, their integrity, whatever they have, because Nigeria has the best youth in the whole world. Very effective, very dynamic, ever resilient, excellent, intelligent, guru young men and women who can do anything to survive. There's nowhere in the world we have such wonderfully gifted youths. So our cry now is, how do we fund them? So we beckon on our global funders, wherever they are, to come to help us, because we can do this. We don't want to depend on the government. I don't want to criticize the government, but I want to tell you that our problem in this country is the leadership. It's the leadership problem. We don't have a problem with our youths. We don't have a problem with our women or our men. But I want to tell you that in our agro section, we are doing little. Fly up. If you are using an aeroplane to move out, you see that only 2% of the whole community are being housed. The rest are forests. What are we doing with it? If we give our youths quality agro favor to farm, either by cropping or by animal like livestock, take for example cassava with the value chain addition, there will be no unemployed youth in this country. And once we see the youth and give them work to do and they have food to eat, insecurity will die overnight. Insecurity will die premature death. There's nothing like insecurity apart from joblessness. And Multi-Life with Yes Fund can do this. Our problem is funders. We have 100% assurance of executing this money the humanitarian way. As I said, it's purely humanitarian and zero political. I don't need to praise myself nor speak much about this. As I said, Multi-Life Savers for the Less Privileged has existed not less than 28 years. Go to Fidelity Bank, go to UBA Bank, and other banks we are banking with. The accountability is 100%. I remember I'm telling you, it is like an oath. It is like a covenant. Any one kobo given to me that will not be used for the poor and for the purpose, may God not allow me to touch that money, because I will defend the fund with my life. to make sure that the purpose for which it is sent is being utilized. I am funding one of the best under 15 academy in Africa. And my players are among the best to the glory of God. Today, I have thousands of students I've trained from nursery, primary, secondary to university. Many of them are medical doctors. Many of them are now outside the country. So if I can do it alone and use my money to fund it and account for it, what more when people's sweat are involved? I can't think of not being accountable. I can't think about not using the funds when they come for the rightful purpose. Not just accountability, but transparency.